Yo, how's it going? How's everyone's weekend going so far? Yo, how's it going, man? Have you started texturing the power armor yet? Doing it as you speak? Sick. Yeah, I want to wrap up this thing so I can start texturing it. You never saw me texture? Yeah, I've done barely any texturing in my life, which is why I want to improve it. I'll see how much texturing I do on stream. Depends on if I'm an absolute failure at it or not. It's pretty easy to pick up, maybe. I don't know. The first thing I'm texturing is a 200 Udemy asset though, so maybe we'll see. I have texture friends that are willing to teach me, so that's always handy. Yo, how's it going? Can I give you some tips to match reference in Maya and how to make model from just one single 2D image? I would start by keeping things very, very simple and just use basic primitive shapes to get the proportions correct. Then after that, matching is very easy. As long as the main proportion and forms match first. That's all that really matters, I guess. What specs do I have? I got a 4090 and 120 gigs of RAM. I guess are the main things. Can I have your streamer in the background? Nice. But yeah, Lewis did a private mentorship with me. His final result ended up looking pretty fucking cool. Oh god. If you wanted to talk about mentorship, is it mainly in PM Discord? I have a Google form you can fill out. Let me just find the Google form. Just to keep it simple. It essentially just has all the information needed. I will get you the link. Because yeah, some people like reach out and we're not essentially on the same page. I'll just post it here. Yeah, Lewis was my first private mentorship, and it went super well. Yeah, man, I can't wait to see it textured. Yeah, this was the final result. Oh, what? It was like full screen before. But yeah, very cool. How many Udums is the power armor? Yeah, how many Udums did your power armor end up being? I remember when you first showed me the Udum count, it was pretty high, but I think you condensed it a lot, right? Playing Ghost Burrow. But yeah, I'm just working on the landing gear today. And I took this engine piece that I built for the Kitbash library, and I'm just using it to kind of place potential details. Oh God. Yo, how's it going? Yeah, Lewis, did you see the chat I had with John Catapia? That's cool to listen to in the background. He's a model supervisor at DNOG. Yeah, it's really cool. John is very direct, like me. PM blue color. Been a fan for a long time. Used to follow your tutorials a few years ago. Oh, really? Sick. Just finished a 3D model of a Boeing fighter. Boeing fighter. What is a Boeing fighter? Anything? You can always just chuck it into the Discord. We can always check that out in a bit. Check the comments. You timestamped the interview. Did you? How do you do it in such detail? Do what in such detail? Like this stuff? I'm just kit bashing forms I have from previous models for now. And then I'll do, I'll clean it up later. I mean, I do have reference on the side, but I just use it as Skycade guide. It's not, I'm not matching it 1-to-1 or anything. Do you say Discord? Yeah, let me just check. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I should probably put a Discord link somewhere, shouldn't I? I don't know, every time I try and paste the Discord link, all it does is paste the hidden copy instead of like the actual link. So if someone has like the actual link, I would greatly appreciate it. Someone posted it. You found it on my ArtStation. Oh, that's probably super outdated then. Is Cinema 4D also used in studios? In VFX? Not really. I don't think so. I think advertising it might be used more, but it's not really a standard for sure. Yo, how's it going? How do you get away with adding support led loops and cylinders without being a part of the cylinder? Without what? Without being part of the cylinder's resolution. So I don't understand the question. Are you saying like to avoid like pinching and stuff, you just need to have more spans in the cylinder? You work in motion design and product? Yeah, I think Cinema 4D is the best at motion design stuff. Aside from that, I don't think it's that big. It was still on Twitch back then? It is still on Twitch now. I just stream on both. Yeah, so we're live on both platforms at the same time. Oh shit, where'd that go? On that part you selected, your cutouts don't align with the cylinder's sides. Your support loops give... Which piece? I've selected lots of pieces. Your support loops give the cylinder uneven sides. No. I don't know which piece you're talking about. There's lots of pieces I've clicked on. Do you model from a reference or a design sheet? I have reference, but I'm just following it loosely. All I know is there's lots of GAC on here, and I'll just do something by eye that visually sits in the ballpark of what I'm looking at. The gray one with 9 slot cutouts. Oh god, I don't even know which cylinder piece you want me to look at. It's on the wheel. This? The wheel. It's on the on the wheel. This. I haven't selected the wheel at all, but what about the wheel? Higher. I don't get what we're looking at. What is the issue? This thing? What about it? Are you talking about this? I mean, if it forms a If it forms the correct curve, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be equal spans. I mean, theory should be, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, if we could do this and then make the spans more equal, but doesn't really need to. Will there be other of your colleagues, friends coming on stream anytime soon? Sure. I think Andrew Dyer says he'd be willing to jump in. He started as a modeler at DNEG. He came through the Greenlight program like as an intern. That was like 5 years ago. Now he's at Sony. He said he'd be willing to hop in. So yeah, we can grab him at some point. I mean, we won't do it all at once, right? We'll spread this out a bit instead of having everyone come in at once. Would I say Blender has better modeling tools than Maya? Yep, I agree with that. Well, this piece is really, really offset. Would I use Blender at work? Nope. Will there be any chance of Gerald? I can ask him, but I doubt it. Maybe Jay might be willing to come on. I'll see. I mean, getting them both at the same time would be kind of cool. I'll ask. I'll see what they say. Doesn't hurt to ask. UVs and grouping system in Blender unfortunately suck. Indeed they do. Come say hi, awesome day. Thanks. Hope you have a good day too. Why are so many Boeing planes crashing around the globe? I don't know. I think they just don't look after the maintenance, right? Makes me sad as I'm from Seattle where Boeing originated. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Boeing. You're currently in last semester SAE school and we're working in Cinema 4D. Just depends what the school teaches, right? I started in Cinema 4D. Use Zen UV and Blender UVs will be a pleasure to work with. Are you saying Blender UVs will be a pleasure to work with when you don't use Blender? Like, I mean, sure, you could say that about any program. It's a pleasure when you don't use the program. I guess. They're teaching Cinema 4D for VFX. All right, that's not what we use. I mean, maybe if it's for animation, maybe I'm not animation for advertising. Maybe you could say Cinema 4D is a useful tool, but not for film. Zen UV is an add-on from Blender. It makes. Yeah, I think I've heard good things about Zen UVs. I just would rather just not do UVs in Blender. I would rather just do my UVs in Maya than go back to Blender with it. If I have to leave Blender anyway, I might as well just use Maya to do my UVs. Tried Rism? Yeah, I own Rism, but I never really used it. So a bit of a waste of money, but yeah, I have Rism. This is a pretty cool piece. Maybe we'll use this somewhere as well. But yeah, I'm just generally like putting geo everywhere to kind of just kind of fill the gaps for now. And then I'll actually make it work better later. You live in Switzerland, you don't know if it's any different? Maybe, I don't know. I can't answer that. You like it a lot, never did Maya. I mean, I think the people that made Rhizome originally came from Maya, so I think some of the similar tools are in Maya as well. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's something along those lines. What kind of tools? What kind of tools for what? ZenuView is an add-on for Blender specifically? Why wouldn't I say it's not? Changing from Cinema to Maya is difficult? Nah, not really. I started in Cinema 4D and then I saw studios use Maya, so I just learned Maya. I think at the end of the day, you just learn what you need to for the job, right? I got no idea what this thing is, but it was kind of cool. Yeah, I know like people are really hesitant to learn new programs and stuff like that, but like when I was learning Cinema 4D and I saw studios use Maya, I just simply moved to Maya. There was no dying on a hill of using a program that I specifically wanted, right? You just simply use the program that the studio uses. There was never really a thought of like, I'm going to be difficult about this. It's just, all right, that's what they use. I guess I need to learn that program. Lack of non-destructive modeling tools? Yeah, I guess that's true. I think, yes, but then at the same time, most of what we're doing at work, I feel it doesn't matter if it's destructive or not. Like, because we're just doing what we're told, right? There's no fiddling around with different things, right? We just build the model. There's no, I don't know. We don't need to leave it that open, I guess. For concept, I think non-destructive, having things non-destructive is key for sure. But in modeling, I just never really needed to worry too much about it. What am I doing? I guess no one's ever going to see this angle, are they? They might. No, they won't. History system is ours. Yeah, the history in Maya is pointless. I just delete it constantly. I mean, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't complain if we somehow got all of Blender's non-destructive modeling in Maya. It's just, I don't know. It never bothered me as much as people would probably think it would. Like say, for example, using a bevel modifier to make sure we can adjust the bevel size later. Like we just simply don't have the time or worry to do that. We just simply just do the bevel correctly from the get-go. Like it's just that sort of stuff, right? This plane is getting in the way. Yeah, like I said, if we somehow just magically got the non-destructive modeling in Maya, I definitely wouldn't be complaining for sure. It's just, don't really need it that much. We already have it in 3ds Max. Yeah, but I don't think it's that easy to just casually alter programs like that, especially when studios already like our entire pipelines are so heavily built around these programs, right? You can't just casually change the program dramatically and think everything will be okay. I think that's why, say, for example, the fact that Blender updates fucking non-stop is not a good thing for us, at least. Like studios don't upgrade their Maya that often because it takes a long time to implement the changes for the pipeline. So like 5 Blender variations a year is not a good thing, I don't think, for studios at least. This is pretty small. You can watch a Blender tutorial from a year ago and the tools are different. Yeah, that's another thing. And like, you know, the fact that I think the problem is like, you know, Blender is so add-on based as well, and then the add-ons have to constantly be updated. It's just like, imagine that while at the same time you're trying to finish movies for a client, and it's just like, it's just too much of a hassle. Like, sure, Maya development is slow, but for a studio, that's not a problem for us because we don't want to have to upgrade the Maya every day, because it just throws. Imagine you're trying to imagine you're trying to hit a deadline for a film, and then suddenly the pipeline just changes and everything's broken now. It's like that's not good. The add-on compatibility issue is a real thing though, not as bad as it sounds. I mean, sure, but I'm saying like, it's working at home with your own Blender is so different to working in a studio environment where you have like intense deadlines with hundreds of people using the same program. That's what I mean. That's why I think like Blender is best for sure if you're by yourself at home. I don't think it's set for a big studio environment. If Autodesk sold perpetual license for Maya, they would go bankrupt, I guess. I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not like, I don't give a shit about Autodesk or anything like that. It's just, oh God, I didn't mean to do that. Most of Autodesk money is from CAD stuff. Yeah, no, that's right. I thought it was so fucking funny when all the Blender users were like, oh, you know, Autodesk is so afraid of Blender. And it's like, Autodesk couldn't give a shit about Blender. They make most of their money from the CAD industry. like, they don't give a shit. You stopped updating your Blender by version 3.6. Yeah, I don't upgrade my vendor. I don't upgrade my Blender that much often either. I just don't see a point. Most of the new features they add are not things I want anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. Long-term support version, I guess. John's analogy of Blender in the VFX industry I thought was pretty funny. You find that statement weird. What statement weird? I mean, I don't know. Autodesk is that big in CAD industry. I mean, if you look at where's the pie chart of the money Autodesk earns, it's like not even comparable. Autodesk. Is it this one here? There you go. I mean, this appears in lots of places. Architecture, so this is the revenue by industry. Media and entertainment, which is Maya and Max, is down here. So architecture, engineering, and construction is up here, and then CAD is here. I mean, I'm just going off these statistics, right? But it wouldn't surprise me. No excuse not to have perpetual license. I mean, what are you talking about? It's a business and it makes more money. Of course they're going to do what earns them more money. It's got nothing to do with that. Oh yeah, it's not just yeah. The engineering side for sure is the highest. What do I use Blender for? If I do concept, I use Blender. Not that I do that much concept anymore anyway. Hardest part of Blender is the hotkeys. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I like the fact that Maya isn't hotkey based, just so I can set my own custom hotkeys without breaking everything. I think that's the most frustrating thing about Blender. Like, I would want to set my own custom hotkeys, but then I just constantly broke everything, and that was kind of frustrating for me. Where Maya, it's just, you know, Maya, it's not that way, so it was just easier for me to set my own custom hotkeys, which I thought was nice. But yeah, I gotta pull up what John said about Blender. I thought it was so funny. With his analogy of painting a house. My pie menus are superior. I like the pie menus. I think pie menus are cool. Oh shit, wrong one. Oh, I didn't do that. The rope took you off guard? Yeah, I know, it's so funny. Yeah, I thought the fact that you said a rope, I thought was so fucking funny. But it is kind of like that, like Maya is very structured and organized. It's not as artistic, I guess, as Blender, but it's very structured and organized. So like, I guess you could argue the rope was artistic. We don't have to worry about Blender becoming industry standard because AI replaced us before that. Yeah, I'd probably say that. I mean, not even the term worry. Like, I'm not worried about, even if hypothetically we turned around and used Blender tomorrow, I'm not worried about using Blender at work. It's just not going to happen. There's just no point for us. Oh shit, this is not straight. Whoops. It's just not going to happen. There's just no point. Studios would rather, oh god, I selected edge over there. Studios would rather just invest that time into Houdini instead of Blender. And that's why I always find it kind of funny when people are talking about how stagnant the VFX industry, because they're not picking up Blender, and it's like, well, they are actually adopting new tools. It's just not Blender, it's Houdini, because Houdini fits the VFX pipeline much more. Houdini plays nicer with other programs where Blender doesn't, which is the main reality. You don't understand why Blender has to be a standard? Exactly. Like me saying we're not going to use Blender at work doesn't mean Blender's a bad tool. It's just, it doesn't have a place in VFX production. If I was a concept artist, I would use Blender 100%. I think that's where Blender is strongest, is in the art side. You've been learning Look Dev and Houdini? That's probably a good idea. It's not playing nice with you. I mean, it's just like learning another program, right? You just need to get used to it. But yeah, like all studios, well, not all, but I assume most VFX studios are starting to move their pipelines into Houdini and USD. You would focus on learning Houdini over Blender? I would agree. If you want to go into VFX, definitely, I would focus on learning Houdini over Blender, for sure. Oh, Crimson raided? Yo, how's it going, man? Thanks for the raid, I appreciate it. Welcome. We are in the process of building landing gear for this plane. But yeah, it's going all right. How's your stream, man? Cheers. Let me see if we can just open the full one. Oh god, I didn't type mine correctly. You wrapped up level... Wait, 17... You have 17 levels in your game? Man, it's so funny because someone was talking about scope creep, and I was like, this makes me think of Crimson. I remember when your game was like a 3 to 6 month project. It's been like 4 years now. Yeah, I still remember when you started that project. It is 4 years? Jesus. All right, where's the master file? Master file, this one. Yeah, this is the full plane with the nice little cockpit we got here, and got weapons and stuff. Yeah, for people who are here, I am people that are new here, I'm a hard surface modeler in the film industry, and I make spaceships and stuff for movies. Yeah, we can have a little peep at my demo reel and some stuff I have worked on. Do you use the reference feature in Maya a lot? Sometimes, not always. Because the model's getting pretty heavy now, so I've broken up the model a bit. Oh, I haven't read the YouTube messages for a while. TikTok people don't give a shit about anything at all. How many videos I've seen of Wildfire with Black Ops Zombies music under it is crazy. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. The ads got you? Rip. I would say the issue is not always about what software you use, it's always about the fundamental of your speciality. Where I work, we switch to USD and Solaris for textual look dev in Asset. Yeah, I mean, Solaris is kind of becoming the norm. Am I working on Dune 3? I got no idea what's happening with that movie. How often do I get asked to freelance work? Not that often. Freelance isn't that normal in VFX. Do you have poly limits? No. We have to, there's no poly limit, but we have to be as efficient as we can based on the scale of what we need. So obviously this dude is going to be like several million polys high, but we just need that. Do I ever find a use case of booleans? Oh yeah, all the time. You can boolean stuff and then clean topology afterwards. There's nothing wrong with that. Boolean is just a modeling tool. It's not. I mean, I never leave the booleans as they are. We obviously clean them up, right? How do you model the sand in between the tank chain of the halves? It's like a cube. So the way we did it, I mean, there's multiple ways you can do it, right? So the way we did it, you can just do it as simple as I mean, so imagine this is like a gap, right? Or this is like a crevice or something. The simple way of doing it is you literally just have like a plane or something. Oh. And you do something like this, right? Imagine like you subdivide this several times. Oh, I should have done that a bit more square. I mean, the easiest way is just do something like this and then just use soft select and like do something like this, right? And then now we have our sand build up, right? A lot of the time this will be good enough to get, oh shit. This will usually be good enough to get you through most cases. Just have like a sand build up like this, right? On that one specifically, I didn't do that. I created like 30 containers of different angles of like sand I will need, like different angles like this and stuff like that. And then I gave the original plane before it was deformed. So imagine you have the original plane like this. I gave this to another artist who used Houdini to simulate this plane falling as if it was sand. And then we had a library of sand pieces. And then I just kibashed the sand everywhere. Would welds be done the same way? I do the weld this way as well. But yeah, you can make sand and crevices pretty easily, right? You don't have to go that crazy. Like if we want a sand build up around this thing, right? We can just essentially just do something like this. You know, you get this, just scale it down, pull it out here a bit, get this one, pull this in, subdivide this up a few times. We'll just make it yellow for now. And then you could just even use sculpting, right? And just, oh God, maybe, where is the sculpting tool? Grab. And you can just do stuff like this, right? Just move this around. Oh God, that's too much. Just move this stuff around like this, right? Smooth this out a bit, maybe. This is essentially the idea of how you do sand build up. I mean, the angle I have is not correct. It should be more this way. But this is the general idea of how you do sand build up. It's just stuff like this, and then you just keep working on it a bit. And yeah, eventually end up with something like this, right? Obviously not as shit as this, but you get the idea, right? This is essentially all sand build up is. This is something like this. But this is like the easy way of doing it. This is not like the physically accurate way using Houdini and stuff like that. You can you can use both. It depends on how important it needs to be, right? If it's just something like seen in the distance, like this will work. This will be good enough. If you want something like this close to the camera, then it might be better to use Houdini and actually simulate the sand better. But for like this sort of distance where it's kind of just like an implied detail, this is fine. You wouldn't just make it texture? Nah, because you physically want to see the model change, right? You can't, I wouldn't. So what you do is you do this here, and then you would do texture on top of this to kind of blend it in better, if that makes sense. So you might have some texture sand build up to help bridge the gap between these two. Displacement? Nah, it's always just way easier just to do it here, right? It's always way easier just to do it in the model. Because it's now non-destructive, right? If we don't want this anymore, we just get rid of it. And yeah, it's just so much easier, I think, just to do it in model. You can just start duplicating, you can just start duplicating the stuff around. We can just add it now here. We can come up here, put some more in this crevice. And it's just so much easier doing this, right? But yeah, depending on the context, right? If it's going to be this close in Hero, then it's easier to, well, it's not easier, but it's probably more recommended to simulate it correctly in Houdini. But for most of the time, you can get away with just that. Does land gear on the jet close properly without intersecting in other parts? Yep. Nothing is in the group at the moment, but yeah, it goes in. Well, this one's not animated. I guess that kind of doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, it all functions. When it's closed, it doesn't collide. I haven't finished the back one, but the same works with the back one as well. This is why I animate this stuff, just so I get the functionality kind of sorted. Do you usually share your personal work for others' portfolio? Someone retextures? Nah, not usually. I'd rather just do it myself. Even for distant view of sand, using Houdini could do the whole mesh. It depends. It depends on what it is, right? If the asset itself is large, it might be annoying for Houdini. I've noticed when they do it in Houdini, they still need to clean it up anyway. So what we thought was the easiest was doing the Houdini simulations on small objects and then kit bashing it artistically where we want. How does Substance Painter handle an asset like this with hundreds of users? They just break it up into multiple parts. I'm a new viewer. Do you have any courses? I do not. I have a private mentorship, but that's it. Would you sell them at some point for effects people? For example, high quality meshes are hard to come by to practice effects for personal work. My only issue is like I don't own the intellectual property of Macross, so it would be hard for me to justify selling this model. That's why I sell Kitbash libraries, because I own those. Was the other artist an effects artist? No, he wasn't an effects artist, he was just a modeler. Isn't it super laggy and slow, like performance-wise? Not if you break it down into multiple assets. Like I know people that have broken assets into like, 15 different sub assets essentially and texture them that way. But with this, I'm going to be using Mari instead of Painter. I'm going to use Painter for the bakes, but I'm going to texture in Mari. I got Mari. I haven't got it yet, but I will get it. It makes sense for me to use Mari since that is the industry standard. And I think this is why it's important to, put your preference aside, right? Because, on the subject of Blender versus Maya, for example, like I'm going to learn Mari just because Mari is what is required, not because it's the one I want to use, if that makes sense. Bite the bullet and pay for it, or get it through Think Tank? No, I'll get education license, since I am a teacher. I still have to pay for it, but at least it's cheaper. Because I'm not going to be like earning money with Mari, like it's, unless you include maybe streaming some of it and getting $5 for coffee. Like, Mari is not going to pay for itself. I mean, I'm still going to have to pay for it, of course, but it's not going to be the full commercial license. It's mostly for learning how to texture. Does DNEG provide licenses? Nope. Like, you mean outside of work? Nah, studios don't usually do that. Do you unwrap your model yourself? Of course. How else would the model get unwrapped? Yeah. Yeah, I outsource my UVs. No, I don't. I like doing UVs. UVs are chill. There's the Mari non-commercial. It has a UDIM limit. Yeah, the UDIM limit is 6 UDIMs, while this thing is 120. So it's not going to cut it. Yeah, I think 6 UDIM limit is definitely not going to cut it for if you want to actually learn how to do this for a job. So I'll just get the education version, which is alright. I mean, you still have to pay for it, but at least it's... Yeah, it's funny you say that because, like, not you say that, but like everyone talks shit about Adobe, but at least I got Substance Painter education version for free, where Mari I have to pay for the education version. Oh, wrong one. Can you get Substance as a student for free? I don't know. I think because I'm an instructor, I can get it for free. But I needed like proof. Like I needed a letter from Think Tank, right? They don't just give it to you for free. I needed to prove that I was actually an instructor. So I got like a letter from Think Tank to get that. Your asset when you're 200, 300 UDIMs? Depends. Depends what the asset is. Originally, this asset was going to be like 200 UDIMs, but I changed it back down to 110 now. Sure help the earning teachers and rip off broke students? I mean, I don't know. I didn't look into what the requirements were. I mean, if you are a student, why wouldn't they get you? If you were at a school, why wouldn't they give you a student license? I think, yeah, I don't know if you're asking more about if you're like not at a school. How many UDIMs does Garrison have in his plane? Is Garrison here? Garrison is here. How many UDIMs is your plane, Garrison? Your asset's the Transformer, so I don't think it's overkill. Yeah, your Transformer is going to be pretty crazy. What's the best way to manage UV size? I usually just put the camera as close as I want to it, put a UV checker on and check how close I can put it. You would say 200 UDIMs is overkill? Depending on context, I wouldn't say it is. If you think 200 is overkill, I've worked on over 1500 UDIM assets before. It depends what it is. I would say 100 to 200 is normal for a hero vehicle for sure. Yeah, your Transformer is pretty crazy. In saying that, you might get away with a lower resolution just because you have so much model detail that the texture resolution might not actually be as obvious, if that makes sense. I mean, it always just, at the end of the day, it entirely depends on context of how it's seen, right? That's literally the only thing that matters, is the context of how it's seen. Oh shit, this is all. This over here. Substance Painter is free for students? Okay, cool. There we go then. You can get Substance Painter for free. Very cool. You're planning to do only good close-ups of the face. In that case, I would probably make that. I would make the head a different resolution to the body. For me, my cockpit is a different resolution to the plane, just because the cockpit, if I put the camera in here, it's going to be way closer than out here, right? You're not even a student anymore. Not sure even why I said that. Fair enough. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not a shill for Adobe either. I'm not the biggest fan of that company, but at least Foundry is charging me. Charging me to it's so funny. Foundry, like many years ago, like Foundry wanted to use my model for one of their demonstrations or whatever, and the payment was giving me a 1-year license of Mari, just 1 year, not a thing. And I'm like, I don't even use Mari. I'm not gonna do this. No, that year that expired, that license would have expired many years ago, and I wouldn't give my model up. I wouldn't give my model up for a subscription anyway. Hell no. If you want my hard work, you gotta pay me. Let's put this over here. Oh god, that's not what I want. Do we even see this? Let me get briefly do, I guess. Does it crash? It does not. What's that? Yeah, post your transformer in the Discord. It's pretty crazy. I'm sure people would like to see it. plane is annoying me. Your landlord does not accept exposure. Yeah, exactly. Some geo still looks a little crappy. I don't know. I think you have so much geo on your transformer, it's a bit hard to see. If anything does look bad. Put this in here. How many units did Hot Rod have? I got no idea. I had an ILM, the Texturas does the UVs, so I don't know what Hot Rod ended up as. Ugh, why did that happen? Yeah, it's kind of funny because yeah, at ILM the modeler doesn't do UVs. They just, when they do model changes, they just break shit, and the texture artist has to try and sort it out. That's why I think it's good for modelers to do UVs, because they're usually more careful with how they update the model. But if you don't have to do the UVs, then you just don't give a shit, right? That's someone else's problem to deal with. And I'm not a big fan of that sort of a mindset. So that's why I think modelers should do UVs. Because I have many texture artist friends that have had to, like, all their UVs just get absolutely fucking destroyed by the modeler, and then the modeler doesn't have to do anything about it. Like, I've seen cases where the modeler just deletes the UVs. I'm just like, but why? Like, just leave the texture artist, at least fix it. Like, why delete the UVs? It's already textured. You just fucked all their work up. Crazy stuff. Hello, happy to catch one of your streams. Welcome. It also helps to have it. Yeah, I prefer doing UVs because UVs essentially is the, for me at least, is like the QC of like making sure everything is good, right? I think it is very important for a modeler to do UVs. I think there should be a crossover where the modeler does the UVs, but in conversation with the texture artist. Like the modeler shouldn't just do whatever the fuck they want, right? It should be a conversation between the model and texture artist for sure. Let's go this, put this over here. For now, I'm just duplicating shit around, right? It's not the model, like this topology and stuff isn't good. I'm just kind of trying to get the artistic thing in place before I bother cleaning stuff up. How do you think I should do my turntables when I get to that because I'd like to show all the details, but showing textures, UVs, and wireframes to every part is way too much. Yeah, you don't have to do it for everything, right? I think it's just the main stuff that need, like you can do the close-ups without model, without wireframe and stuff like that. The close-ups, I would just show you the textured finished asset, but maybe you could do some hero, like maybe the face could have the wipe of the topology. I mean, you should have an art station with all this stuff there anyway, right? If people really want to dig, like, see the details. It's looking pretty cool. Yeah, I'll fix all this stuff later. Even these pipes are pretty shit. I think these pipes came from Blender. Do I? Oh yeah, that's right. There should be. I was like, why is there no detail here? And I remember the flap is like right in front of it. It's looking pretty cool. I think I've taken everything from this that I could use. What is this? Oh, that'll be fine. Yo, Garrison, are you around? Can you share how much you earn with the selling Kitbash, Gumroot? I probably shouldn't. It's nothing crazy, right? It's not like well, it's not even remotely close to replacing my job, if that is what you're asking. I wouldn't ever do it as a full-time job for sure. Just asking because I'm getting into selling Houdini scene files, etc., just to get some perspective. I mean, it's entirely like marketing, right? If people know who you are and they know where your stuff is, there's a higher chance that you will sell it. It doesn't even necessarily matter the quality of the product, right? Not wanting to replace your job, but earning something on the side. I mean, yeah, sure. I won't give actual figures, but it's not that crazy. Like even like, for example, like YouTube. I mean, YouTube, I've only just kind of started pushing a bit, but YouTube and Twitch, I'll earn, like my coffee will be covered for the month. It's like something like that, right? I mean, for me, which is fine. Like I'm happy with that. I wouldn't mind free coffee, but like it's nothing crazy, right? Are the wildfires affecting Vancouver at all? Nah, not at the moment. But yeah, the money doesn't even technically come to me. It goes to my business. Rigging VTuber models, the real deal? Yeah, I know. If I wanted to like actually try and make money from YouTube and stuff like that, I would be leaning into Blender instead of not doing what I do, right? Am I using Windows Ink disabled? Hell yeah, I fucking hate Windows Ink. It made me replace my tablet because I thought my tablet broke, but it was just Windows Ink turned itself back on. Fucking hate Windows Ink. Yeah, for these 12 Blender mistakes? Yeah, I know, right? What am I doing? Reference, unload. Wait, why do I have this? Oh, I opened the scene twice. Whoops. Oh, I don't need this then. Windows Ink is a must turn off? Yeah, for sure. So this reference here is... okay. Yo, how's it going? I'm doing good. How are you? What I use the references for? The file is just getting too heavy now. So I'm working on individual components and then just bringing them all as a reference to the master file later. Love my stuff? Yeah, thanks, I appreciate it. Recently I went through your blog on ArtStation. Posted 7 years ago. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think everything's still the same there. I haven't really changed much since then. Old files, refinement, open. I'm late, but I see you're doing an awesome project. Yeah, no worries. There's no rush for people to tune in or anything. What do you? Oh yeah, I just read that. Where is the environment? So floor plus environment. Is this the master? Yes, it's the master. This stuff is going to be so subtle anyway. I mean, I guess you will see it when I actually properly texture it and put proper shaders on it. You already now, wait, what? You already know what you will work, no, I already know what I'll work on next. Do you mean like after the plane? Because the plane's going to be a while. After the plane? Oh god, I mean, I still have to texture the entire plane. That's going to be a long time. Because I have to learn texturing process and then texture it. Well, I'm going to see all of your live project from this starting. You can't see this from the start because the Twitch VODs don't exist anymore, which is why I'm streaming on YouTube now. You must not miss the texturing streams. I mean, I don't think the texturing streams will be that productive because I'll be learning texturing. So it's not like I'll be, I mean, who knows? We'll see how much I stream with the texturing process because I'll be floundering around without knowing what I'm doing. So we'll see. Damn, it's gonna be so dark in there. I didn't need to do any work in there. That's the more interesting part? Maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much I'd enjoy being backseated by people as well while I'm learning the process. So we'll see. Texture and Substance. I'm going to do the baking in Substance, but I'm going to texture in Maya. This is GPU. But yeah, I'm going to do my bakes in Substance and then do the actual texturing itself in Mari. Should I add a light inside of this? Maybe. Arnold, let's see, lights. Just chuck an area light for now. Just out of curiosity. I mean, it might be cool to put lights in eventually, I guess. Oh god, there's so much. I mean, that might be cool if I actually do proper lighting afterwards. So I can actually see all my modeling. Uh, 15. How the hell did this get to 15? I must say, you doing live project, that's awesome, but one request, Andrew, do next live stream project from the start, like whether you do environment. Okay. I mean, I did live stream this from the start, but it was just on Twitch instead. My understanding is Mari for education students, non-commercial is free. It is not. It is, you have to pay $280 for it. I guess this is looking pretty cool. I practice tricking every week. Yeah, I practice tricking multiple times a week. I learned Rise yesterday. That was cool. Mari non-commercial is free. Yeah, with a 6 Udem limit count. It's not gonna cut it for. I don't think I can do this asset in 6 Udems. Should I switch from Painter to Mari since I like doing high quality assets and textures with resolution? I would. Depends. If you want to work in the movie industry, I would say yes. It depends on what you need to do, right? There's nothing wrong with Painter. A lot of artists are liking Painter, but if you want to go into movie industry, I would recommend Mari. A lot of them use both. Like it seems like the popular workflow is using Mari for bakes, but using Painter to actually do the texturing. You think you must change my clipping camera? Why is that? Other way around? No. Nope. No, they use Painter because it has better baking tools, and then they do the actual texturing itself in Mari. How important is to have every object connected to each other? It's not needed at all. Bake Mari and texture in Painter? Oh shit, sorry. Yeah, I meant paint in Mari. I said Mari for bakes? Yeah, no one likes Mari for baking. My bad. Could I share hotkeys or plugins? 0 plugins. Hotkeys, I think it's irrelevant for me to share my hotkeys because it's just personal preference, right? Like copying my hotkeys isn't going to do anything for you. What resolution? 4K. Rise like where you place your hand. No, that's touchdown rise. Rise is where you do without the touchdown. There's 2 different variations. Yeah, these are. I was going to show you my rise, but then I see my friend's story pop up. Let's just watch that. That's way more interesting. So I was training with my friend Jackson. Oh god, training with my friend Jackson yesterday. Jackson is fucking crazy. Yeah, Jackson's kind of crazy. No one cares about my rise. That was way cooler. Laz was also there yesterday, and Laz is fucking crazy. I think this was from yesterday as well. This is not me, of course. I mean, obviously this is not me, but these are guys I was training with yesterday. These guys are fucking crazy. Can I give universal advice for good light? I'm not a lighter, so I definitely can't give a lighting advice for sure. How many ankles are broken per day? I mean, I broke my ankle once, but Jason Paul? No, I haven't heard of him. I only got into tricking a year ago though, so I am not that knowledgeable. Okay. What HDRI am I using? No, it's like, it's not even like a, it's not even like an, it's like the inside of like a mall or some shit. It's not even like an actual like, yeah, it's not even like an actual exterior. I think it's in London, I think. It just gives nice lighting, that's all I care about. He's from the parkour side? Yeah, I don't do parkour. Where did it come from? Just Google HDRI and you'll find it. Like it's like the first option essentially. Yeah, the HDRI doesn't actually matter. If you're not actually, if you don't physically see the, I mean, actually, no, that's not completely true. If you see the HDRI in the reflection, then it can matter, but it depends. It doesn't really matter what the HDRI is. Well, for me, it will eventually when I start lighting it properly and putting it into environments and stuff. But for now, it doesn't actually matter what the HDRI is. It's just as long as the lighting looks cool. HDRI Haven, that's probably it. It's like the most generic like HDRI sites you can think of. Oh. Weird. Yeah, whatever works for you, right? Like I'm also gonna put it into like a dark environment at some point with like just manually placed lights because that sort of lighting is also cool as well. Like inside of a hangar or something like that. Well, not a hangar, but you know, like where, what am I saying? When modeling portfolios, certain areas of the reference may not be clear, so at times is that okay to add details of Yeah, of course. If you can't, there's nothing wrong with making up detail as long as it looks like it's, what the hell is this? Oh shit. There's nothing wrong with making up detail as long as it fits in with what's needed, right? And that's a big part of being a modeler as well, is like filling the gaps with references that fit in. $200 units of Substance Painter, you're going to have many Substance Painter files. Anything over 10 to 15 is real pain? No, not at all. For baking, my friends have said there's no issue. Why is this thing beveled in random spots? Yeah, if I was gonna paint in Painter, then yeah, I would have to break it up more. But my friend says as long as if you're just baking, you can have hundreds of UDIMs, no problem. He's baked 300 UDIM assets, no issue. Because he did the painting in Mari. But yeah, obviously it's different if you're painting in the program. But yeah, that seems like a good workflow. Like he says, he also goes into Painter to do specific things like rivets and stuff like that. So you can deal with like 200 UDIMs if you're doing nothing but painting rivets. Then that's no problem. To then take back over to Mari. That's essentially what I'm just going to be doing. How do you show in a demo that you 100 match the concept? You could just put the model on top of the concept. I would encourage against it though, because if you don't match it 100%, it really works against you. Can I explain UDIMs? What do you want me to explain about UDIMs? I mean, I don't know the technical information about UDIMs. I know it's just UVs that line up with textures, but what in particular are you asking? Yeah, I get some water. I'll be back in a sec. Yeah, you're right. Baking shouldn't be an issue. It's the texturing that would be. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, if I was gonna, I've been told 50 is the limit if you actually want to do texturing. But I'm not gonna texture that. I guess the idea is to learn how to texture. God, this looks awful. I guess the idea is to learn how to texture properly for if I wanted to oh god, if I wanted to texture at work, I would at least know the proper workflow of doing it. So that's why I'm going to use Mari instead of Painter, just because it's the industry standard. And then, you know, that's when this whole conversation about Blender and stuff comes up again, right? It's just like you just simply learn the tools we use. There's no point having a personal bias about what we learn, because we just learn what we need to, right? Thing with tricking is it always looks cool if you're not super skilled. If you do parkour outside and suck at it, you look like a junkie. Yeah, I know. I think that the problem with parkour is it's deceptively hard. Like, there's so many people that look at parkour and be like, I could do that. And then you actually do it and it's so much harder than it actually looks, right? Where tricking, I feel like it's much harder. I mean, tricking looks harder, if that makes sense. Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying in that regard. God, this cable's awful. Whatever. Whoa. Jesus. Yeah, I'm not going to do a tutorial. I'm just going to ask my friends. That's just the easiest. Just jump on a call with them, get them to give me the basic rundown, and then off we go. Turn off chat because backseating. Yeah, that's my main issue with streaming the texture process. I feel I'm going to get backseated hard. So we'll see. But no, I think it's good to have conversations and stuff like that. It just depends. Like when I was learning Blender, it was a fucking pain in the ass because like I would ask how to do things and then I would just get given like 5 different answers and they were all wrong. So it's just like that's the only negative aspect of this sort of thing, right? How many units does the plane have? I think the plane body itself has 120, 110. Landing gear, I got no idea. The cockpit is like 10. The missiles, I think, will be 20, maybe. Crazy about a tricking community in the modeling stream. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Because tricking is not really that big. You're learning parkour while staying at school? That's cool. Yeah, I think it's important for people to have physically active hobbies. You know, especially to balance it out with how much we work in this industry. You know, physically active hobbies with a friendly environment, I think is very important. Like that's how I feel I'm able to work hard, is because I kind of get my needs kind of fulfilled by doing something like tricking, right? You know, you get your social aspect, you get your physical activity, all that sort of stuff. They used to be bigger, did they? Oh, that's my thing. But yeah, I got no idea when Mari is actually going to start. I have to finish the plane first, right? I want to finish the plane within the next few weeks. I think it's mostly there, right? It's just finishing it. I'll need to put it down at some point. And then maybe I'll spend a week or two learning the basics of texturing first by myself without doing that on stream. Because the problem is, right, like people could give me advice on stream and I don't know how accurate the source is, right? It's essentially like listening to a random YouTube tutorial that completely goes in the wrong direction. You almost broke your neck? That's so funny. Yeah, when I broke my ankle, it was on a mat. You know, the thing that's meant to protect you. The irony of breaking your ankle. Like, yeah, if there was no mat, I wouldn't have broken my ankle, which is kind of funny. You practice more difficult moves in the foam pit? Nah, we don't use a foam pit. We just do off like an air track onto a mat, pretty much. I don't like the feeling of the foam pit. I think it's like deceptively safe, but it's not. So I usually don't like using the foam pit. Just need to pull this out a bit. You want to start 3D modeling? I'm using Blender. How would you approach learning how to model? Oh, this is such a hard question. Like, I'm really good at answering like very specific questions, but if someone's like, how do I just model? I'm like, oh, I don't know. How would you start? Does anyone know any good basic Maya modeling tutorials out there? Your favorite episode was Armored Core? The Armored Core was cool. I assume you're talking about Secret Level. Yeah, Armored Core was cool. Elemensa? Oh yeah, I think Elemensa is good, aren't they? I don't personally know them, but I've heard good things about Elemensa. Do you use Mash? Yeah, I've used Mash before. Not that often, but if you need to do some form of like procedural modeling, then Mash is good for sure. In saying that, it's not like I use it often though. But yeah, if I had to do something like that, I would use Mash. Here's a good course. Yeah, I think for me, it's just like this. I feel like there's probably so much free content online out there about like the basics of Maya. I would rather focus on doing things which are super specialized in VFX instead of just adding more of the same things that are already out there, if that makes sense. Should be okay. Oh, I see. Okay. So this is not consistent. The textile density? Honestly, I have no idea. I just scale the UV to a size that I know will work, and then I just press the get button. I don't know the actual like technical specifics of the textile density, so I can't really answer that for you. Sorry. As long as it looks like it'll work, I don't think any more of it. Yeah, I'm not the most technical person. Maya flip normal course? Yeah, I assume that would be a good. Flip normals are usually pretty good. I used to work with Henning actually many years ago back at MPC. We both started together. How do you deal with burnout? I think I just touched on it briefly before. I have lots of hobbies outside of work. I have hobbies that keep me physically active and social. That sort of stuff always helps a lot, I think. Ugh. Oh, I must have forgot to cut this side. That was kind of terrible. No. See, this one. Maybe we'll just settle with this. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you later. Sorry, I probably should have read more of your question. How do you deal with burnout? In one day, my college starts and I have 6 classes. That sounds absurd. And a film to work on. I know I'm going to get burned out, but I won't be able to take a break until I graduate. Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, sometimes at points, there's no option aside from just kind of suck it up and work hard. There's no, unfortunately, that's just how it is sometimes. I guess the answer would be to reward yourself at the end with something to look forward to, I guess. Oh, I was like, why is it so offset? I was like, oh yeah, of course it's rotated. But yeah, sometimes it's just time to work hard. Please don't crash. Thank God. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's just time to work hard, unfortunately. Elementor? Yeah, Elementor's a YouTube channel. I think they're pretty good. I don't think I've ever watched their... Have I watched their stuff? I don't think I ever have. But a lot of people recommend them. Oh, I was like, why the fuck is it like that? Of course, that makes sense. Let's see, what else we got here? This one now. For $100 for one course might be better to sub to Nomen workshop for 60. Wait, you either pay... Wait. Oh, what's this? You say one course at Nomen is 100, but you can get all of them for 60? I'm confused. Oh, 100 for Elementor. I mean, sure, if their stuff is good, right? I assume Nomen stuff is good, just Nomen is expensive in general, right? God, that didn't go well. Yo, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Where did that come from? This one here. Okay. Modify, unitize. How long have we been streaming for? Oh, we started at 12, didn't we? It's 2 hours. All right, we'll do one more hour. Oh, whoops, I left up the picture of the worms. My bad. Wait, this whole thing is only that small? That's going to be concerning. I guess it is kind of small, but still. Maybe I might need to alter my resolution. That's pretty small. But yeah, I think maybe in like a month or two, maybe I'll get another professional jump on stream. I don't think I'll do it that often, just because, like, you know, got to spread it out a bit. My problem was, like, say for example, the portfolio reviews. I did all the portfolio reviews back to back, and then suddenly we've used up all the portfolios, so I can't really do reviews anymore. So I think I'll probably spread out the. Oh shit. Oh, that's been fine. I don't think I'll probably spread out the guests a bit. We don't use height maps? Correct. Do you use normal map? Not most of the time, no, I don't think so either. Like, I'm not going to use normal maps for this, I don't think. Will I stream the texturing Amari? Yeah, when I get the swing of it, I will. I don't know if I'll do it at first, right? I don't want to just sit here on stream like an idiot. Where the hell is this? But eventually I will. Oh, I see. Okay. Film doesn't use height maps? Wait, are you talking about, like, sorry, are you talking about bump? I think bump and stuff is used. Bump and displacement are used. I don't know. So I thought height map was something else. Yeah, bump and stuff is used. I thought height map was like a game thing. I didn't think, because you have normal, but I thought height was something else. Unless, I don't know, maybe height is like an umbrella term for anything that deforms the surface, maybe. Is it possible you're cruising today? Nah, I probably won't do it today. Maybe next week. Oh, okay. Height and bump are the same? Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, they use bump then. I thought a height map was some other term, because I've only just heard it referred to as bump. What am I doing? This one. Height is the same as displacement? Is it? Oh, I thought displacement was just displacement. I don't think anyone referred to displacement as height. But I could be wrong. I'm not a texture artist. But yes, there are methods to deform the surface, if that's what we were asking. I'm kind of surprised this whole thing is only this big. Height maps only affect the shading and lighting of the surface, while displacement modifies the geometry. Yeah, okay, that's a very clear difference then. Why is this not working like I expect? Oh, you're wrong? That's fair. I mean, I'm learning all this stuff as well at the same time. Ugh. Whatever. No, I should just do this correct altogether. It'll be the same. Modify, unitize. You've always plugged the height map into displacement. Is that wrong? I don't know. I've never used it. I'm sure someone else can answer that question. Height is displacement? All right, everyone's getting confused. And this is why I'm cautious about learning new things on stream. Because people might be wrong. Love my videos, keep up the good work. Thanks, I appreciate it. But yeah, you can all discuss this. Height is definitely a texture channel. I don't know. All that is so much work. I just put a checker texture on it, put the camera close to it, and be like, yeah, it looks good enough. That's what I've done for the last like 12 years, I guess. Height is how tall something is? Wow, fascinating. Yeah, I don't know. I've just never really done it. Usually I just, do the UVs, ask the texture artist is good enough, and they're like, yep, or no, and that's it. That's pretty much it. You can use height map as a bump map and or displacement map. It's the same gray data. That's what I meant. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if people care about the science of the textile density, that's totally cool. I don't really personally think too much about it. I'm not saying I'm right or anything like that. It's just a lot to think about. Just stick to your plan about asking your bodies in the industry. Yeah, I'll just ask my texture lead friends to help me texture. Not like, I don't appreciate help and stuff like that, but it's just it can sometimes be a bit tiring getting help on live stream. At work, to be super precise about text density? No, not at all. We just need to make sure we overcompensate for it because we don't know if the client will change their mind. No one gives me a number or anything like that, right? We just look at the shot context to what we have and be like, does this hold up in this context? Yes, no, all right, done. And usually they'll do like a test render just to see, and if it looks so good, we're chilling. That's pretty much it. There's no like actual science behind it or anything. I mean, some people might. I don't think most do though. They just render it to see like, okay, this was good enough. And that's pretty much it. Oh shit. What the fuck is going on here? Where's the other one? Oh. Huh, strange. There might be some weird history on it or something. Your supervisor got sick of you asking how many UDIMs? I mean, I wouldn't ask how many UDIMs. I would just ask how close we see it and then go from there. I don't think I've ever asked what the UDIM count should be. I've just asked how close the context is. And then just go from there. Do you mind if I ask where you're working that they did create a fuss about that? Actually, I probably just automatic this one. Yeah. Automatic unwrap is pretty good sometimes. I usually like doing automatic unwrap just to unfold it, and then I can just sew it together how I want. But yeah, the only time we might actually know. I was gonna say the only time we might have to be precise, but then I guess it's not even being precise, it's just copying the resolution of another asset. Like say for example, we're building like a fleet of airplanes. It would make sense that all the airplanes would have the same textile density. But that's not a precise number, that's literally just copying the textile density of one to the other. Maya UV tools, yeah, Maya UV tools are great. I have a shape with a complicated curve and a hole I need to fill. Is there a faster way to fill it? Faster way than what? What's your process for filling this hole? I guess is the question. Actually, maybe this will look better if I take this, push this over here. Let me get rid of this one. Many extruded. Yeah, it's hard to visualize what you're talking about, sorry. What am I doing? Maybe get rid of this one as well. This one. Yeah, so I don't really get what you're asking. Ugh, gross. Yeah, I guess the easiest way is you just give it to the texture artist, they'll do a test render, and you just check if it holds up or not. That's one way of, I guess, doing it. What amazing UVs. Let's see. We need this copied at the bottom. It's always good to have some form of connection, even if it's something simple like this. Oh, this can all go. But yeah, where do you work, Alex? Out of curiosity. You're a Pixamondo? That's cool. Which Pixamondo? Toronto. I didn't even know they had a Toronto Pixamondo. That's cool. What advice would you give me as someone always tries to make topology so perfect but end up spending big time on some parts? Step back and look at the bigger picture and realize that you don't have to spend that much time on topology. There's no other real way to answer that question aside from just don't. like you got to accept, especially at work, right? You just have to accept that things are just good enough sometimes. It's just, things can always be more perfect. There's just no point though. A lot of the time it's just going to be, it's good enough. Oh. Yeah, I think you really learn that in the industry. It's just realizing sometimes things are just good enough. And there's no point continuing on it. Oh shit, I didn't fix this, did I? Whoops. That's good enough. Like, I could clean this up more if I wanted to, but it really doesn't matter. It's good enough. I used to be much more picky about topology. Now I don't really care as much. As long as it works right. I've seen some awful models in the industry. And if that stuff is fine, then this will be fine. Not saying people should be lazy, right? But sometimes it just doesn't matter. What kind of monitor do I have? Just an ultra wide monitor. I can't remember what it's just the Dell ultra wide monitor. It's lasted me pretty well. Last, like, I don't know, 6, 7, shit, it's been a while, hasn't it? Oh, what message did you remove? Oh, okay. I didn't see what the problem was listing what the studio was. What is the model for animation film? Oh no, it's just for fun. Just for fun, just to learn texturing. Oh shit. Yo, how's it going? What are these UVs? Jesus. I mean, this was made for concept, so I'm not surprised it's a bit all over the place. Yeah, like this intersects through here, but it doesn't matter. Who cares? It doesn't. Oh shit. It just, yeah, it sometimes just doesn't really matter. I think it's one of the biggest things with learning, you know, with working in the industry, is just learning when things matter and when things don't. How long have I been working on it for? It's always a hard thing to answer with this sort of chat. Just because I've been on and off it for so long. It's... just writing this one. Would I fix the stuff for a project? What stuff? Like if no one sees it, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's always about context, right? Like if I put the camera here, then I would fix it. But I'm not going to put the camera there. I'm going to put the camera like here. It's always entirely about context. But yeah, we've been working on this plane for it's been essentially about a year, but it's not full time for a year. It's been a while. What engine is used to render the Dune scenes? I think Dune was done with Clarice. Clarice was DNEG's main render engine. Not anymore though. Clarice got discontinued. Has any movie used Arnold? I think, wasn't Gravity done with Arnold? I think Framestore uses Arnold. I could be wrong, but I think Gravity was done with Arnold. I mean, I think Framestore uses Arnold. I quite like Arnold. Arnold is what I'm using at home. Wait, why is this? Oh, I see. Weird. Why is it doing that? Huh. Interesting. Gravity was Arnold? Yeah, I think I remember Gravity being Arnold. Yeah, I think the render engine is pretty irrelevant, honestly. I mean, Clarice was good at dealing with high poly counts, so that is one thing. But aside from that, I don't think it really matters. Surely before they got bought by Autodesk? Oh, weird. But yeah, does anyone know what Framestore uses for a render engine? You mix V-Ray for mechanical and RenderMan for skin. Why? Why not just use RenderMan? I think RenderMan is what most studios use. I would probably rather just stick with RenderMan, right? Oh. Wait, what? Oh, you wonder if they use multiple render engines? Hell no. No studio would use multiple render engines. There wouldn't be a point. Because your whole pipeline is based around a render engine. So there's to have multiple render engines is just not worth it. And then what happens if you have like, imagine you have a character which is like part organic, part robot, then what? you can't render each piece in a separate render engine. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but that just wouldn't be a point. Can't you just comp it? I mean, sure, but why would you add extra comp work for no reason? You got a 4060? I'm sure 4060 will be fine. I got a 4090. But yeah, there would be no reason to add extra comp work for the fun of it, when you can just achieve the same result in one render engine. What's going on here? Oh, I see. Okay. Please no extra comp work. Yeah, exactly. Comp is already swamped. They don't need more comp work. Hi, how's it going? God, I'm getting so hungry. I'm probably gonna get going now. Let's have a look. I think I will raid Rat Lord and I'm gonna go get some food. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I greatly appreciate it. We'll stream again on Tuesday. I want to be really consistent with streaming, so we'll stream again on Tuesday. God, why did they make this so much harder now? Okay. Wait, how do I... What the fuck have they... Sorry, give me a sec. Oh, the thing's at the very bottom. Okay. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday night. But yeah, thanks everyone. I'll catch you all later. See ya. Bye.